Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Juliana and today I will show you how to use field parameters in Power BI to make your reports more dynamic, flexible, and user-friendly. Instead of duplicating visuals or cluttering your pages just to show data from different perspectives, field parameters let you build smarter visuals that adapt in real time. It gives your users control. And it doesn't stop at dimensions. You can also create field parameters from metrics, allowing your users to switch between, for example, costs and hours. Additionally, we can also create numeric range parameters, which allow our users to input values to explore custom scenario, like adjusting forecast according to the inflation. So in this video, I will walk you through how to build both field parameters to easily switch between dimensions and metrics, and numeric range parameters to give your viewers control over calculations and scenario. Let's dive in and make your Power BI reports more interactive than ever. Let's have a quick look on the data I have. So I have a calendar table. I have the dimension project details where I have project code, project name, program, project manager, and location. I have the fact cost that has got the actual costs and hours per project and per different discipline. And I have a fact table containing the forecast cost, so everything that is forecasted that hasn't happened yet. And I have already created some measures. So I have the total costs, total hours. I have my base cost, which will be the forecast cost, where we're going to adjust according to the inflation, and which will be these measure here, forecast cost, that we're going to work on it after we create the parameter. So to get started, we need to go to model view. And in model view, I'm going to create a new parameter. And I'm going to create a field parameter. So I'm going to have to name a parameter. In this case, will be select dimension. And I want the following dimensions to be added. I want my user to be able to select between a program, location, project name, and project manager. And then I'm going to click on create. And after I create, it will generate a new table. So if you have a look at this table, it will have here the dimension, and these parameters here will be used for when we create the visualization. So let's have a look. Let's say we want to add a column chart. And in my column chart, I want to show my users the total costs on the y-axis. And I want them to be able to select what's going to be the x-axis. I want them to be able to select between the program, so all the dimensions we added on the parameter. So under the x-axis, we're going to go to the table that it was generated. I'm going to click here on the select dimension and drag it to the x-axis. After we do that, we need to create the slicer. So we create a slicer. And I'm going to add the same field. And there we go. Now what happens is I can click in different fields like location, project name, project manager, back to program, and the visualization will interact. But now let's say that I do not want to see only the costs. I also need to have a similar visual for the hours spent. So instead of duplicating it, we can create another field parameter. So let's go back to the model view. Let's create another field parameter. And this time, my parameter will be called select metric. And I'm going to go here to the two measures that I want to be on the options, which are the total costs and the total hours. And I'm going to create. It will generate another table, similarly when we created the select dimension. So if I go back now to my report view, I'm going to remove the total costs from here, and I'm going to add the parameter select metric. And then I have to add another slicer. And under the field, I'm going to add the same select metric. So now I can flip between costs and hours. And this is also interesting if we have a different scenario. So let's now create another page. Let's say that we want to have a line chart, and I want to have the end of the month. And I want my users to be able to select between costs and hours. So you can see the data on a timeline. So let's add on the y-axis the select metric. And then the same way, we need to add the slicer and add the select metric on the fields. And then you can click and then see the metric changing up. So this is very useful. We don't need to do much of that. The field parameter will create whatever the fields you need to use. Now let's have a look at different scenarios. So let's say that you have the forecast cost for your project or for your program, but you're not sure how the inflation is going to be. So you need to be able to adjust the forecast according to the inflation. And for that, we're going to create another parameter. So let's go back to the model view. But this time, the parameter will not be a field. We're going to create a numeric range. So let's click on numeric range. My parameter name will be select inflation. The data type will be decimal. My minimum value will be 0.02, which is equivalent to 2%. The maximum value will be 0.13, which is equivalent to 13%. The increment will be every 1%, or that means 0.01. And my default value will be 0.02, which is 2%. And then we click create. So when we create this numeric range, it will also create a measure. And this measure we're going to use on the calculation of the forecast cost to ensure that it's going to be dynamic. So let's have a look on the forecast cost. So for my forecast cost, I have to define a couple of variables. The first variable will be the inflation, and the inflation will be the measure that was generated when we created the numeric parameters, which is select inflation value. So it's already there. And then we have the variable that is the base cost, which is on the table forecast costs. And we want to return the base cost times, they open the bracket, 1 plus the inflation selected. And then we close bracket. That is our forecast cost. Now, if we go back to the report view, I'm going to create a new page. And I will also add a line chart where my x-axis is the end of the month. And for my y-axis, I'm going to add the forecast cost. And now, because I want my user to be able to select different values for inflation, I'm going to add a slicer. And on my slicer, I'm going to add the same inflation here. We're not going to add the measure. We're going to add the other field that it generates. And then let's just format this value for percentage. And let's do with no decimal, the decimal. There we go. So which means that my user can change the value for inflation, and the forecast cost is going to change accordingly. And you can also add the base cost to see how much it is actually changing. So you can go, the base cost is not going to change. What's changing is the forecast cost, which is using the inflation. Now it's your turn to experiment, to iterate, and make a dashboard truly user-driven. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's goodbye from me now, and see you on the next video.